samsara dava nalalidhalokatranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya vande guru shri charanaravindam साक्षाधरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रैः उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव सद्भिः किन्तु प्रभोर्यः प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरोः श्रीचरणारविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्याप्रसादान्न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायन्स्तुवंस्तस्य यशस्त्रिसन्ध्यम् वन्दे गुरोः श्रीचरणारविन्दम् सर्वेभ्यो नमस्काराः। श्रीराजोवाच कथितो वंशविस्तारो भवता सोमसूर्ययोः राज्ञां च उभयवंश्यानां चरितं परमाद्भुतम्. This shloka is the first shloka of the Dashama skandha of Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken by the king Parikshit to the sage, the very pure-hearted sage, Shuka Muni. What is the background of this? We know how King Parikshit, who was the grandson of Arjuna's wife Subhadra, through Subhadra, Abhimanyu was born. Abhimanyu's wife Uttara Devi. So Uttara is the mother of Parikshit. When the Kurukshetra war happened, Parikshit was present in the womb of Uttara. Uttara was carrying Parikshit. He was not born yet. Abhimanyu was killed in the Kurukshetra war, so Parikshit could not see his father. However, he was brought up by his grandfathers. But just after the war was over, Ashwathama tried to kill Parikshit, but could not because he was protected by Krishna. Vishnu protected him. So eventually, the story goes that Parikshit was a very dharmic king. We would not be surprised to know that because he's, after all, the grandson, the son of Arjuna, grandson of Arjuna and Subhadra. Subhadra is the sister of Sri Krishna and Balaram. So Parikshit, a bhakta from birth, towards the end of his life, the incident which triggers the end of his life is when he goes to the forest for hunting. And at the end of a session of hunting, he's very tired. He goes into the ashram of a sage. He's looking for water because he's very thirsty, but he finds no one there to receive him. As a king, he is used to being welcomed wherever he goes. But now there's no one to receive him. And finally, he spots a sage, the sage, sitting in the corner and deeply absorbed in meditation. So he becomes a bit annoyed. And then he picks up a dead snake and puts it around the neck of the sage and goes away. Owing to that act, the son of that sage, who sees him or sees his father in that state, curses the king without knowing that it is King Parikshit who did this. He curses. He says, whoever has done this will die within a short while, within 7 days of this. So the news reaches, and when the sage wakes up or comes out of his meditation, he realizes what has happened and he tells his son that he should not have done that because the person who did this, after all, is the king, the emperor, and he is beyond this kind of a curse. His deed can be accepted. So I don't take any offense. So please go and tell him, apologize to him. So he goes there, and then the king, when he gets the news of this, he realizes that his time has come. So instead of trying to reverse the curse, he decides to spend the last 7 days of his life hearing or spend the time on the banks of Mother Ganga, which is near Hastinapura from where they are ruling. So he goes there, goes to Mother Ganga and sits on her bank, and at the same time, hearing this great event, that the king is preparing to give up his life, several great sages come there. And it also happens that Shukamuni, who is the son of Vyasdevji, he also reaches there at the same time. So then ensues a conversation, or rather, a discourse by Shukamuni to King Parikshit. Parikshit asks several intelligent questions, and these are narrated, these questions and answers are narrated in the Bhagavatam from the Dvitiya skandha onwards. In the Prathama skandha of Bhagavatam, the, the story of Parikshit getting the skirts and then going to the banks of Mother Ganga and sitting there, that's narrated. And from the beginning of the Dvitiya skandha, the conversation between Shukamuni and Parikshit happens. Now, the whole of Bhagavatam is narrated as a conversation between Suta Maharishi and several great sages. The chief among them is Shaunaka Rishi. So, between Suta Maharishi and Shaunaka Rishi, there's this discourse, this conversation. It's happening in the forest of Naimisharanya. So, this is beginning of the Prathama Skandha of Bhagavatam. The whole Bhagavatam is a conversation between Suta Maharishi and Shaunaka Maharishi and the other rishis there. And within that is the conversation between Shukamuni and Parikshit. And in between that conversation are many other sub conversations between several great personalities, like, for example, Narada Muni and Yudhishthira, King Yudhishthira, and so on. Several other conversations also happen. So the whole Bhagavatam is narrated as a conversation within a conversation format. So here, now we are studying the Dashama Skandha. We're beginning the Dashama Skandha, which is about Sri Krishna's Leelas. The first Navaskandhas, they talk about Soma and Surya Vamsha. King Parikshit says that you have now elaborately described two dynasties. The dynasty of Soma. Soma is the deity of Chandra, and Surya is the deity of the sun, the deity of the moon and the deity of the sun. Their dynasties on earth have been described by you. And now I would like to hear, he says, Yadoscha dharmashilasya nitaram munisattama Tatramshena avatirnasya Vishnur Viryani Shamsanaha. Now, specifically, I want to hear about Vishnu, who appeared in the Yadu Vamsha. The Yadu Vamsha became very special because Vishnu appeared there. And Yadu himself was a great personality, one of the kings who was a great follower of Dharma. He upheld Dharma, perpetually devoted to Dharma. And in his Vamsha appeared Vishnu. So we want to hear about him. Please narrate his activities, glorious activities. Avatirya Yadur Vamshe Bhagavan Bhuta Bhavanah Kritavanyani Vishwatma Tani no Vada Vistarat. So Krishna is not some ordinary personality, he is Bhagavan himself. He is Bhuta Bhavana, means he is the source of all living beings. And he is the protector. Bhuta Bhavana means both the source as well as the protector of all living beings. And he appeared in Yaduvamsha and he performed various wonderful activities when he appeared there. He is the Vishwatma, means he's present all over this universe, Vishwatma. And I want to hear those activities very elaborately. So after Parikshit says this very elaborately, the activities are described in Dashama Skandha, which constitutes nearly 1/3 of the length of the whole Bhagavatam. The whole Bhagavatam has 335 chapters, out of which 90 chapters are themselves only in the Dashama Skandha. Out of 12 skandhas, Dashama Skandha is one, but in the Dashama Skandha, 90 of the 335 chapters and roughly 6,000 of the 18,000 shlokas, roughly 1/3 of the length, is contained in one of the 12 skandhas, which is the Dashama Skandha. So it's very elaborate and it's completely devoted to describing Krishna's activities. Nivrittatarshayir upagiyamaanat bhavaushadaat shrotra manobhiramat ka uttama shloka gunanuvadat uman virajyeta vina pashubhnat. Now this shloka is one of my favorite shlokas. It describes the sweetness or the greatness of hearing the narratives of Sri Krishna. He says Krishna is Uttama Shloka. Uttama Shloka means a person with super excellent character. A person with excellent character is called Uttama Shloka, means he is praised with the best of shlokas. And such a person's Guna Anuvada, the narration of the activities, the qualities, the birth, and all the different attributes that he performs, all those things is called Gunanuvada. So now he says, who would not like to hear this? Nivrittatarshaihi upagiyamana. Those who have become free from all material cravings, those who are actually mukta, those who have got mukti, they are free from all material craving, they are completely happy within themselves. Such people, they praise upagiyamanaha, they praise this person, Uttama Shloka, Krishna. Bhavaushadaha, these narratives are bhavaushadi, means they free one from material existence. Those who are in material existence and looking for freedom, looking for mukti, these narratives are so potent that just by hearing them, one becomes mukta. One gets that liberation. And they are not aushadi. Normally, when we think of aushadi, we think of something bitter. But here it says, Shrotra Manobhirama. These narratives are very pleasing to hear. Shrotra, mana, to the mind, the ears and to the mind. They are so pleasing. They're so pleasing to hear and they're so pleasing to think about. So, such narratives, he says, Puman virajyeta, kah puman virajyeta, vina pashupnat. Which man or which person would like to not listen to them, would like to ignore them, other than one who kills living beings, other than a killer of living beings, like a hunter or like a butcher or like a person, a terrorist who takes pleasure in killing other living beings. Other than such people, who would not like to hear these wonderful narratives? Pitamaha me samare maranjaihi devavratadyati rataistimingalaihi duratyayam kaurava sainya sagaram kritva taranvatsapadam smayat plavaha. So King Parikshit now recollects how his grandfathers, they were faced in the Kurukshetra war with a huge army of the Kauravas, which consisted of people like Devavrata. Devavrata is another name of Bhishma. Bhishma gets that name because he takes a massive vow. He says that for my father, I will not get married because I want to enable my father's marriage to Mother Satyavati. And unless I take this vow, that will not happen. So he takes that vow. He says, I will remain a brahmachari all my life, and I will not also occupy the kingdom. I will not become the next king. I will make Satyavati's son the king. So he makes this vow, which is extremely difficult for a Kshatriya to make. No Kshatriya will take a vow like that. I will remain a brahmachari and I will give up my kingdom just to facilitate his father's marriage to a woman whom his father likes. Now, this kind of a vrata is considered so excellent that the devas, they praise him with that, and so he's called Deva Vrata. His vrata attracted the admiration of the devas in Swarga. They shower flowers on him, and so Bhishma is such a powerful personality that he can defeat all the devas. He's so powerful, even devas cannot conquer him. He's extremely powerful, extremely skilled. Forget about human beings on earth. And that person is present on the opposite side. Not only he, but other Athirathis. Athirathi is a warrior who can take on any number of warriors at the same time. Simultaneously can fight with any number of warriors. He's so skilled. And so many Athirathis were present on the other side. One of them was Bhishma. And they are compared to Timingalaha. Timingalaha means Timin Gilati iti Timingalaha. Timi means a large fish. Timin Gilati, a fish which can swallow a large fish. Means that fish is so enormous that it can swallow even large fish. So such fishes are present on the other side. So he's comparing that Kaurava army to a great ocean. And such a great ocean is Duratyaya, means it's impossible to cross over that ocean. Kaurava Sainya Sagaram Duratyayam. But what did my grandfathers do? They crossed over it just like uh, anybody can cross over the water that is held in the hoof print of a calf. So when a calf is walking, let's say, it makes hoof prints. It's footprints. Like we have footprints, cows and calves have hoof prints, and these hoof prints they become like small ponds, very small. And when the rain comes or when some water flows, some water is caught there. It becomes like a very tiny pond. Now, how difficult is it to cross over that pond? Even a small child, a baby can cross over it, right? So my grandfathers, the Pandavas, they just crossed over this Kaurava army, this ocean of the Kauravas, just like anyone can cross the hoof print, the water held in a hoof print. So, and how was this possible? This was possible only because of His grace, only because Sri Krishna was present on their side. Otherwise, it would not have been possible. So, he's actually glorifying not his grandfathers, he's glorifying Krishna. Aided by Krishna, my grandfathers could cross over this. So, he's recollecting, his mind is now on Krishna. And this shloka is very significant because it tells us how, you know, just like the Kauravas, the Duryodhana and so on, maybe Bhishma could see it, but Duryodhana and his people like Dhritarashtra, they could not see that Krishna's presence on the other side was the only factor which really mattered. They thought of all the other factors. Okay, now many of you are PhD students who are listening to this. Now, when you do a thesis, you'll think of different factors which influence some dependent variable. So you'll think, have I considered all the factors? Have I controlled for the other factors, etc., etc. Similarly, Duryodhana also thought of many factors which could be important for him to win the war, and among them were the quality of the warriors on his side, like Bhishma, Drona, and so many others whom he enrolled, and the size of the army. So when he went to Krishna, Krishna offered him and Arjuna and he went to Krishna together, and Krishna offered, he said, well, I'm offering you both, um, two things. One is myself or my army, my entire army. So you can choose which one you want. And my huge army, Krishna's army was known to be extremely powerful from Dwaraka. And if it is there, nobody can defeat that army. It's a very, very difficult to defeat army with so many Yadus and so many others. And he himself is just one person. So he said, I will be on the other side. Whichever side takes the army, I'll be on the other side. And whichever side I am, I will not fight. I will not fight the war. So Duryodhana immediately, and he was, very happy when Arjuna chose Krishna. So when Krishna gave Arjuna, because Krishna saw Arjuna first, he was standing at the feet, Duryodhana standing at the head. So he said, I will give it to you. What do you want? Arjuna immediately says, I will take you, Krishna. He doesn't even think. Arjuna doesn't think because for him, Krishna is everything. So he chooses Krishna, and Duryodhana is so pleased. He thinks Arjuna is such a fool. He could not, understand what Krishna is saying. So immediately he knows he has got the army. He's so rejoiced. He goes back very happy. And now in Duryodhana's calculation, he's got everything. He's got 11 Akshauhinis. Those people have only 7. And there are only a few Athirathis like Arjuna, for example, on that side. But here we have Bhishma and we have Drona, etc. So I've worked out everything. I've figured out everything. All the check boxes have been ticked. Now I should win. So this is what he thought. But the only thing that he missed out was that the most important factor and the only factor, it is not just one among many factors. The only factor that really matters is Krishna's presence. If Krishna is with us, nothing can defeat us. If Krishna is not with us, then anything can happen. So this he did not know, and he could only see the Pandavas are all the time suffering. He has sent them to the forest, so that was one victory he had over them, and he thinks they were suffering. And now he's thinking that okay, now I've got everything, I'm going to win the war. But did that happen? It did not happen. Instead, what happened? The Pandavas crossed over the Kaurava army as easily as the pool formed by a calf's hoof print. So Parikshit very fondly recollects Sri Krishna's role here, and he goes forward and he says, Drauniyastra viplushtamidam madangam santana bijam kuru pandavanam jugopakukshingata adachakro matushchemeya sharanam gataya. He recollects after the war his own rescue by Sri Krishna when Ashwatthama, he first kills the sons of the Pandavas and then he runs away, and then again he sends the Brahmastra to kill, because he knows the Pandava sons are now killed, and the only person who is now left, who can continue the dynasty after the Pandavas die, will be Parikshit. So if I kill Parikshit, then this dynasty of the Pandavas will last only one generation. After the Pandavas die, then there's no one else to continue, and it has to go somewhere else. So anyway, he knows that the Kauravas are all killed, so they can't continue. So Santana Bijam is Parikshit. He is the Bija, the seed for the rest of the dynasty. So now he makes an attempt to kill him. So he sends a Brahmastra directed at Uttara's womb. Uttara is holding Parikshit in her womb. And so now this Brahmastra is coming. Uttara sees it. She realizes, she runs to Krishna, who is standing nearby. They're all there on the bank of Ganga to do their, to do the Shraddha for those who have died. And so Uttara runs to Krishna and says, please protect me. And immediately Krishna takes the form of, he becomes a small figure and enters into the womb of Uttara. And so the Brahmastra goes inside and it burns the body of Parikshit. But at the same time, Krishna comes and he destroys the effect of the Brahmastra. As it's burning his body, it destroys. He says, Draunastra Visplushtamidam. My body was scorched by the Brahmastra of Drauni. Drauni means Ashwatthama, Drona's son, Ashwatthama. So he says, he got inside my mother's womb and he protected me. So Krishna comes inside and suddenly this baby, which is now watching the Brahmastra burning its body, suddenly sees a figure, a four-handed figure. It doesn't know who it is, and it sees that figure going around and around his body. And that figure is holding a mace, a gada in its hand, and with that gada, it's whirling the gada. And with that whirling movement of the gada, it is extinguishing that burning flames. So that baby Parikshit sees this and it's not able to understand why that is all happening, why something came and burnt his body and something else is coming and rescuing it, protecting his body. And so then the body becomes all right. By the grace of Vishnu, Parikshit's body becomes the body of a normal baby. There's no residue of that scorching effect. And so then Parikshit takes a normal birth. And so after he's born, he does not lose the memory of that. That remains in his memory. And all the time he's examining, he's curious to know who was that figure, that beautiful figure who came inside my mother's womb when I was a baby. Who's that who came and rescued me? He realizes that he has been rescued. So who's that? Who is that? He's always looking everywhere. And that's how eventually he gets the name Parikshit. Means everybody who has been examined by him. May not be everybody, but frequently he examines people. And was it this person? It looks like this person was the one who came inside. No, no, it looks like that person. So he's examining people. So he remembers that now. He remembers how that Krishna came and saved him. And he wants to hear about him. Viryani tasyakhila dehabajam antarbahif purusha kala rupaihi prayachyato mrityumutamrutam cha Maya Manushyasya Vadasva Vidwan. So he says this person is actually not a human being. He looks like a human being. He's a Maya Manushya. And what does he do? His Viryani. Viryani means great activities like Karyani. Activities which we ought to do are called Karyani. Viryani, great activities, wonderful activities, those extraordinary activities done by great people. Uh, Deha Bhajam. So he does broadly two types of activities. As the Paramatma inside the body of all living beings, he sustains their life. And outside them, he is the Kala Shakti. Kala Shakti, like Sri Bhagavan says, Mrityu sarvaharaschaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam. Mrityu, death, Kala Shakti, Kalascha, Kalaha Kalayatamaham. Means Kala is what decreases time. It decreases our lifespan. Every moment that passes by or every second that passes, our life is got over by 1 second. Every day that passes, our life is over by 1 day. Every year that passes, our life is over by 1 year. So it's because of time that we are going closer towards death. Or in other words, we are continuously dying. So you can define, our existence as living or as dying. Both are correct. We are living at the same time we are actually dying. We are going towards it. And why are we dying? We are dying because of kala, time. Okay, so both living and dying. We are living, and what is sustaining our living? That is the Paramatma inside. And what is making us die? The same Paramatma outside in the form of Kala, in the form of time, it's taking us towards death. And that's the reason why, when we look at both life and death, it's very important to focus on dharma. From both perspectives, engaging in dharma is the only meaningful engagement, doing everything in accordance with dharma. Similarly, Sri Bhagavan says, Avajananti mam mudaha manushim tanamashritam. They don't know these things. They look at Krishna and say, after all, he's just a cowherd boy, like Duryodhana saw him. This guy was a cowherd in Vraja, a small village near Delhi where he's ruling from. He's ruling from Hastinapur. And so this fellow is a cowherd boy from a small village here, about 80 kilometers from here. And now he's gone to Dwaraka. He's become a king. I mean, he's a prince. Actually, he was not a king also. He was a prince there, and he had an army, built up an army. And now, he's sitting there as a charioteer. What will this guy do? So, avajananti ma mudaha. Foolish people, they think I'm just an ordinary human being. But Parikshit says, maya manushyaha. He looks like a human being, but he's not a human being. He's not at all a human being. रोहिण्यास्तनयः प्रोक्तो रामः सङ्कर्षणस्त्वया देवक्या गर्भसम्बन्धः कुतो देहान्तरं विना. Similarly, you also talked about Balarama, who is known as Sankarshana Rama. So different Ramas are spoken about. We know Dasharatha Rama, the son of Dasharatha. Then we know Parashurama. And then here Sankarshana Rama. Sankarshana is one of the expansions or one of the forms of Vishnu. And he comes as Balarama or as Anantasesha. So that Rama, and you said that he is the son of Rohini. But how come, if he is the son of Rohini, he also has a connection with Mother Devaki as his mother? Garbha Sambandha means he also was in the womb of Devaki without taking another birth. In the same birth, how did he have two mothers? How was he in the womb of two different mothers? Please describe that to me. Kasman Mukundo Bhagavan Piturgehat Brajangatah Vavasam Gyati Vissardham Kritavan Satvatam Patihi. I also want to know Mukunda. Mukunda means Mukum Dadati iti Mukunda. Mukum means liberation or Mukti. So Mukunda, Krishna is known as Mukunda because he gives liberation. So Kasmat Bhagavan Piturgehat, from his father's house, means Father Vasudeva, was born to Vasudeva and Devaki. From his father's house, he went to Vraja. Vrajam Gataha. He went to the place called Vraja. And Kvavasam Gyatibhis Sardham. Where did he reside with his relatives? Gyatibhi means with all his relatives, his people. Where did he reside with them? And what kind of things did he do? Satvatam Patihi, one who is so beloved to his own people, one who is so dear to his own people. What kind of things did he do? I want to hear all that. Vraje Vasan Kimarkarot, Madhupuryam Chakeshavah, Bhrataram Chavadhit Kamsam, Maturadhatadarhanam. Not only that, I want to know, living in Vraja, in different places, what kind of things did he do? And then in Madhupuri, Madhupuri is another name for Mathura. Mathura is also called Madhupuri. Okay, so we have Mathura near Delhi. That is one Mathura. Similarly, we have another Mathura in south. It's called Madurai today. Okay, in Tamil, what happens is all words are modified to end with I. So Mathura becomes Mathurai or Madhurai. So it becomes Madurai. So Madurai is also Mathura in a different name. So this is Uttara Mathura, Madhupuri. It's called Madhupuri. And so what did he do? In Mathura, he went, this Keshava, and he killed his own mother's brother. Okay, in Sanskrit, a mother's brother is called Matulaha. Matulaha means Mayaha Tulaha or Maya Tulaha, one who is equivalent to one's mother, one who is as respectable. He says, Adhata Dharanam means he's indeed worthy of worship, just like mother is worthy of worship. Our mother is worthy of our worship. Similarly, our uncle, mother's brother, is also worthy of our worship. But what did this person do? What did Krishna do? He went and killed him. So why did he do that? I'm really curious to know. Please describe to me. Deham manushamashritya kati varshani vrishnibihi यदुपुर्यां सहावासीत् सहावात्सीत् पत्न्यः कत्यभवन् प्रभोः. So now he goes to Dwaraka. He says, okay, he has a body of a human being. He spent so many years also in Dwaraka and he had many wives there. It is known that he had many wives in Dwaraka. It's actually he had 16,108 wives, right? So many different wives. So what did he do there? Why did he have so many wives? How many wives did he have? And what did he do there? How many years did he spend there? एतत् अन्यच्च सर्वं मे मुने कृष्णविचेष्टितं Vaktum harhasi sarvagya shraddhadhanaya vistritam. I want to know all this. Whatever I've asked so far, please tell me about all that. But whatever I have not asked also, please tell me that also. I might have missed out so many things because I don't know about them. So please tell me those things also. All the fascinating deeds that he performed, you ought to tell me because I have very deep conviction in Krishna. So that's the qualification. One should hear this with very deep conviction. Only then one really gets the benefit, the sweetness, and the knowledge contained in this, embodied in this. So please tell me all these things in very great detail. Naishati dussaha kshunmam tyaktodamapi badhate vibantam twan mukham bhoja achyutam harikeshavam chutam sorry. Pibantam twan mukham bhoja chutam harike kathamritam. He says, don't think that I am struggling with my hunger and thirst. I know I've been here for several days now and I have a couple of days more to live. But hunger and thirst. Actually, Parikshit was continuously listening. Shukamuni was continuously talking. It's not like they were taking a break and then there was a lunch break and a tea break and a breakfast break and then some break for sleeping. No, they're so absorbed in Bhagavata Katha that continuously narration is going on day and night. 7 days. He's got just 7 days to live and the clock is ticking. It's moving forward. So there's no time left. We got to do it right now. And he's fully absorbed and he says, normally, hunger and thirst trouble us. And they used to trouble me when I was normally ruling my kingdom, etc. And I would eat on time, I would sleep on time, I would live a perfect life. But now these things don't touch me because I am completely absorbed, and my eagerness to hear about Sri Krishna's excellent activities, is so much that these things don't disturb me. I don't care because I'm drinking continuously. I'm drinking pibantam tvan mukham bhojachyutam, from your mouth, the shower of harikatamritam, the nectar of harikatha, the nectar of Sat-katha, okay, is falling out of your mouth, and I'm drinking that continuously, and that's enough. I don't need to eat or drink anything else. Suta Uvacha. So now Parikshit has stopped speaking after 13 shlokas. So now Suta Uvacha, Suta Maharishi is addressing Shaunaka Rishi. He says, Evam nishamya bhrigunandana sadhuvadam vayyasakissa bhagavan atha vishnuratam pratyarcha krishnacharitam kalikalmashagnam vyahartumarabhata bhagavata pradhanaha. Suta Goswami, Suta Maharishi says that look, now Parikshit has asked such exciting questions. He is really, uh, you can say instigated, very pleasantly instigated Shukamuni. Shukamuni is waiting to speak about it, and now that his listener has asked him questions, the speaker becomes even more enthusiastic. So he says, after having heard O Bhrigunandana. Bhrigunandana means descendant of Bhrigu. That's referring to Shaunaka Rishi, who's a descendant of Maharishi Bhrigu. Sadhu Vadam, very appropriate words or very saintly words, perfect words. Vayyasakihi. Vayyasakihi is the name of Shukamuni because he's son of Vyasa. Vyasasya apatyam puman Vayyasakaha or Vayyasakihi. Vayyasakihi saha Bhagavan ata Vishnu Um, Vishnurata is Parikshit. Parikshit is known as Vishnurata because Vishnu protected him in the mother's womb. So his another name for him is Vishnurata. So he Pratyarchya means he worshipped him. Who worshipped whom? Parikshit is worshipping Shukamuni because he's seeing him as Guru. He's giving him Upadesh. Same time, the speaker worships the audience. Okay, that's part of our Samskriti. It's not just one way. The speaker also bows down to the audience and says that because of you, because the audience is listening, I'm able to speak. I'm also getting benefit. So he worships Pratyarchya. So in return, he offered his respect to the king. Krishna Charitam Kalikalmashagnam, the activities of Krishna, which destroy all the impurities of Kali, of the age of Kali Yuga, all the dirt of Kali Yuga. Vyahartumarabhata, he began to narrate. Bhagavata Pradhanaha, he is actually the foremost among the Bhagavatas. Who? Shukamuni. Shukamuni is the greatest among the bhaktas of Vishnu, of Krishna. So such a personality is now speaking to another bhakta, who is Parikshit. Shri Shuka Uvacha. So from now on, Shuka Muni starts to speak. He says, Samyak Vyavasita Buddhihi Tava Rajarshi Sattama Vasudeva Kathayam Te Yajjata Naishthiki Ratihi. So, O Parikshit, he says, you have developed a deep and unshakable rati. Rati means a liking for the narratives of Krishna. Vasudeva, Krishna Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva. So you have developed this deep liking, and therefore your buddhi, your intelligence is samyak vyavasita. It is correctly situated. It is properly situated, properly fixed. Rajarshi Sattama, you are the greatest among the Rajarshis. And this is how you should be. Your mind is now perfectly fixed. Your intelligence is perfectly fixed because it's developed a very deep liking for the narratives of Krishna. I can make out. And so I am excited to tell you. Vasudeva Katha Prashnaha Purushan Strin Punatihi Vaktaram Pritchakam Shrotrans Tatpada Salilam Yatha. So why is it said that hearing the narratives or why is he praising Parikshit that your buddhi, your intelligence is well situated because you have developed a liking for hearing these narratives? What's so great about these narratives? These narratives, they purify. Punati means purify three types of people. Vaktaram, those who are speaking them. Pritchakam, those who are asking about them, those who want to hear about them and ask about them consciously. And Shrotran, those who hear about them. That is, they may not be asking about them, but when two other people are, talking about them, somebody is asking, somebody is answering, and they just listen to this conversation. Such people also. So three types of people: the Vakta, the Pritchakaha, and the Shrota. All three of them, Punati, uh, Tat Pada Salilam Yatha, Krishna Pada Salilam Yatha. Pada Salilam means the water which has washed the feet of Krishna. So, what is he referring to? The water that washed the feet of Krishna is Mother Ganga. Ganga emanates from Sri Vishnu's feet and she comes to us on this earth. So, she is pure. So, that is one understanding of Pada Salilam. So, just like Mother Ganga purifies us, she cleanses us of our impurities. And just like any other water which has washed his feet in a temple, let's say in a temple, we do Abhishek of Krishna. Okay? We give him a bath with water, with sometimes with the nariyal pani, sometimes with the milk, with curd, with honey, so many different things. So all those liquids, if we have them charanamritam, then it purifies our mind. It's purification of our consciousness. So he says, just like that, these narratives that I'm going to describe are purifying. So now he begins his next story. He says, Bhumir Dripta Nipavyaja, Bhumir Dripta Nipavyaja, Daityani Kashatayutaihi, Akranta Bhuri Bharena, Brahmanam Sharanam Yayo. The deity of our earth. Okay, she's called Bhumi. So Bhumi, we use the word Bhumi to refer to this planet Earth, the physical globe, the physical sphere called Earth. We also refer to a personality, a deity. The deity resides over Bhumi. Okay, in the Indian knowledge system, every natural object like a mountain or even a tree has got a deity, has got a Jivatma or sometimes Vishnu himself presiding over it, in charge of it. So every object is just like we said, Surya Devata. Surya Devata is the presiding deity of the planet Surya, of the body Surya. Similarly, Chandra Devata or Soma is the presiding deity of that object known as Chandra, the moon. So, like that, Bhumi. So, Bhumi at one point of time, once upon a time, was deeply troubled by what? By Dripa Vyaja Daityanika. So, there were so many asuras who took birth as kings in the form of kings on her, on this planet. And they were doing all kinds of adharmic activities, all kinds of papa karma. And seeing that, she was very deeply troubled. So what did she do? Bhuri bharena, under the profuse burden of that pain, a profuse burden of that pain and that anguish, she ran to Brahma. She went to Brahma. Brahmanam sharanam yayo. She took refuge in Brahma. गौर्भूत्वाश्रुमुखी खिन्ना क्रन्दन्ती करुणं विभोः upasthitantike tasmai vyasanam samavochata. She took the form of a cow, and with tears flowing down her cheeks, khinna, with deep pain, krandanti, karunam krandanti, means in a very pitiful manner she was wailing, not just crying, but very pitifully wailing. She went, Vibhoho upasthita antike, Vibhoho antike upasthita. She went and stood near Vibhu. Vibhu means Brahma. Vibhu means, the word Vibhu literally means one who pervades everything. So in this universe, Brahma, our Sri Brahma, Brahmadeva, who stays in Brahmaloka, he is all pervading because he is in charge of this universe. He is the creator of this universe and he knows everything that happens here. He is present. He is Vibhu in this universe. So she went and stood near him and she poured out all her grievances. Brahma tadupadharyath sahadevaistaya saha jagama satrinayanah tiram kshirapayonidhe. So then Brahma heard her fully, listened to her completely. Okay, that's exactly the behavior of a very mature personality. When somebody comes with a problem, don't give a solution just like that. First, listen to that person thoroughly, understand what the person has in their mind. So Brahma did that, understood everything, and then he said, okay, now chalo, come with me. So he went with her, and not only with her, but along with all the devas. He took all the devas who are living in Swargaloka, and he also took Shiva. Shiva is known as Trinayana. He's got three eyes, right? We know that three eyes. He's got three eyes. And so Trinayana, he's called Trinayana. So Sat Trinayana, along with Trinayana, Shiva, he went. And where did he go? Tiram Kshira Payonidehe. So there is something called Shira Payonidhi. Payonidhi means ocean. Shira Payonidhi, the ocean of milk or ocean of kheer. So on that ocean of kheer, inside this universe, there is an ocean of kheer in some place. And there, Vishnu resides in a form. He's called Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. And in that form, he's lying on the Anantasesha, on a bed, which is his own expansion called Anantasesha. Anantasesha is that thousand-hooded snake. He expands himself into that form of a thousand-hooded snake and he lies there. Okay, so on that, in that form, that is the form of Vishnu, which becomes the Paramatma in our heart. He pervades this entire universe in that form. So Brahma went to him and he stood where he could not see him. He stood at the Tira. Tira means the shore of that ocean. He went till the shore of the ocean and not until Vishnu himself. He could not see Vishnu. He just could see the shore of that ocean. Tatra gatva Jagannatham Devadevam Vrishakapim Purusham Purushasuktena Upatasthe Samahitaha. So there Brahma stood on that shore of that ocean. And here it is described, Vishnu is described with different names. Jagannatha, he is the master of this universe. And now the Jagannatha Rath is also going on in Puri, right? Jagannatha along with Balabhadra, his brother and his sister Subhadra, they have all reached Gundicha, okay, where they were born. And now they will go back after a few more days. So Rath is going on, Jagannatha. So Jagannatha, Deva, he's the god of all the gods, and he's also called Vrishakapi, means somebody who's very strong, very virile, extremely energetic. Purusha, he's the Purusha, Adi Purusha. And what did Brahma do with Purusha Sukta? Purusha Sukta is a particular kind of chant in the Veda, a particular hymn in the Veda. So he began to recite that Purusha Sukta. It's a very popular hymn. A lot of people chant the hymn even today. In Vishnu temples, Purusha Sukta is chanted every day. Upataste samahita, he absorbed himself in a trance on that Vishnu while reciting the Purusha Sukta. Giram samadhau gagane samiritam nishamya vedhas tridashanuvachah gam paurushim me shrunutamara punah vidhiyatam tathaiva machiram. So in that samadhi state, he heard a voice in the sky. He heard some divine voice in the sky. And after hearing that voice carefully, he turned to the devas, Tridasha. The devas are called Tridashas. And he turned to the Tridashas, devas, and he says, now to the devas, he says this, he said this. Now, please listen to whatever I am going to say. I'm going to tell you what I heard from that Purusha, from Vishnu. From whatever I heard from Vishnu, I'm going to now tell you, Shrunata, please hear. And then, after hearing, immediately carry it out, right away. Don't waste time. Immediately carry it out, ma chiram, without any delay. Right now. It's not like hear whatever I have to say, think about it, and come back to me, we will discuss. Nothing like that. Hear whatever I have to say and just carry it out. Go back and carry it out. Okay, now what is it I'm going to say here? Uraiva pumsavadhrato dharajvaro भवद्भिरंशैर्यदुषूपजन्यताम् स यावदुर्व्या भरमीश्वरेश्वरः स्वकालशक्त्या क्षपयंश्चरेद्भुवि. So he begins by saying that actually Vishnu already knew about this, already knew about all the anguish that Bhumi is experiencing. It is not that I heard from Bhumi and I came and told him. And actually, in these verses also, we don't see any description of Brahma describing Bhumi's anguish to Vishnu. Right? We don't see that. We only see that Brahma went into a trance by chanting the Purusha Sukta. And in that trance, he heard a voice from Vishnu, but he didn't describe Bhumi's anguish to him. He didn't need to, because he says here, Vishnu says that he already knows it. He already knew about it. He's all knowing, so he already knew that we are going to come. And so he knew it. So now, after knowing all that, he has made a plan. His plan is this. Bhavadbihi amshaihi yadushu upajanyatam. All of you should take birth in the dynasty of Yadus, of Yadu. Yadushu means among the Yadus. Yadus are the followers or the descendants of Yadu, the king Yadu. Sayavat Urvya Bharam Ishwareshwaraha. That master of all the Ishwaras. He is the Ishwara of the Ishwara, master of the masters. So as long as he remains on Urvi, Urvi means Bhumi, as long as he remains on Bhumi, and he's actually by his Shakti, Swakala Shaktya Kshapayanscharet, as long as he's present on this earth, reducing her burden, his job is to reduce the burden of Bhumi. As long as he is present there, you also remain there. Vasudeva Grihe Sakshat Bhagavan Purushah Parah Janishyate Tat Priyartham Sambhavantu Surastriyah. So, Swayam Vishnu, he himself will appear, not that he will send a representative. He himself will appear in the house of Vasudeva. And for his pleasure, all your wives, for his pleasure means for his service, for doing seva to him, all your wives, all the women associated with you should also take birth. Vasudeva Kalanantaha Sahasravadana Swarat Agrato Bhavita Devo Haref Priyachikirshaya. So his own Kala, his own Amsha, Ananta, Vasudeva Kala Anantaha, is known as Ananta Sahasravadanaha. He's got 1,000 faces, 1,000 heads. Swarat, and he is also Swarat. Swarat means one who is independent. He is not dependent on anyone. He is himself Vishnu. So Vishnu in another form as Ananta will appear as his own brother, elder brother. Agrato Bhavita means he will appear before him. Before Vishnu appears, his own expansion Ananta will appear as Balarama. And Priya Chikirshaya, to do activities that are pleasing to him. So Ananta will appear to perform activities which are pleasing to Vishnu. Vishnor Maya Bhagavati Yaya Sammohitam Jagat Adishta Prabhunamshena Karyarthe Sambhavishyati. Then Brahma says finally that, okay, not only Ananta will appear, but his Bahiranga Shakti, his Shakti known as Maya. Bhagavan has got various types of Shaktis, and one of them is his Maya Shakti. And this Maya Shakti, Bhagavati, she's also called Bhagavati, Durga, and so many other names, right? Parvati. Yaya Jagat Sammohitam, that's his sister. Sammohitam, this entire universe is deluded. We are all placed into Maya. All the living beings are in complete Maya. Adishta Prabhuna Amshena Karyarthe Sambhavishtati. She has been already instructed by him. Amshena, she also will appear as an Amsha. An Amsha of her will appear, and she will assist him for his karyarthe sambhavishyati, for assisting him, for carrying out his orders. She will also appear on this earth. So you have to appear, your wives have to appear, and not only the task is dumped on you, but even before you, he will appear. His brother will appear even before that, and his sister will appear. Maya Devi will appear. So all of them are his different expansions, and they will all appear. So there's going to be a major, a major phenomenon on this earth, and you are going to be a part of it. Are you excited about it? He asks them. And Brahma stops with this, and after this, narrating this, Shukamuni goes on to talk about what happened. How did Sri Bhagavan appear? The scene switches to the marriage of Vasudeva and Devaki, right? So we will listen to that in the next class. So today we have heard about the background, what kind of activities preceded the appearance of Krishna, and we eagerly await hearing more about how Krishna actually appeared, what was the triggering incident that made him appear, how did he set it up, how did his Yoga Maya set it up, and how did all those activities unfold, we will see in the coming weeks, beginning with the next week. I will stop with this for today, and I will now unmute you. I would like to first ask you if you could hear everything, all that I narrated, if my audio was clear. And then I would like to hear your comments, your questions, etc. So it's actually, we are blessed to hear this. This is something that happened roughly 5,000 years back, 5,100 years back when the Kali Yuga began, just before the Kali Yuga began, or you can say just after the Kali Yuga began, at that time when Dwapar Yuga changed to Kali Yuga. So this happened, this actual conversation took place, and then Vyasdev ji wrote it down. Okay, the same author who wrote Bhagavad-gita, Vyasdev ji, also wrote the Bhagavatam. So Bhagavad-gita and Bhagavatam very closely connected to each other. So today we are hearing this, we are very fortunate. Bhagavatam is not merely a collection of stories, it's actually a body of knowledge, very deep knowledge about the reality around us, the reality in which we live, by understanding which we can learn how to live perfectly in this world. What is meant by living perfectly in this world? Living perfectly is a life where we are able to experience happiness, making others around us happy. That is the purpose of existence. The purpose of existence is to experience continued happiness, to always be happy, to be filled with positive energy, to be free from all negativity, to live in an environment where everybody else also is like that, right? So, by hearing this, by getting this knowledge and practicing it in our life, we can actually accomplish that. That is the best way to accomplish it. It is not through earning a lot of money, building a lot of luxury around us, immersing ourselves in luxury that we achieve this. We achieve it this way. This is the way given by our knowledge system. Yes, Sarthak, you have a question or you have something to say?
Pranam, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Please.
Sir, my question is regarding the last explanation that you gave, that Sri Brahma says that Krishna, Vishnu himself will appear and his expansion will appear as well, and one of his Shaktis will appear too. So during when Sri Krishna was born, so there was a swapping of babies which had taken place, and then Kansa had gone to kill even that baby girl, and then she manifested as that I am the Shakti of Sri Bhagwan, and you should not uh, continue with your evil deeds. So that was one. I also want to know that this Shakti, does it also manifest as Subhadra, who is worshipped
Yes.
as Bala? Okay, okay.
Subhadra is
Subhadra
the
is the
same
same
as
as
this
this
Maya
Maya
Shakti.
Shakti.
In
In
different
different
forms,
forms,
this Shakti appears as Durga Ma, as Subhadra, as Parvati. So This Shakti is also called Maya. She also plays the role of Yoga Maya. Mahamaya is the Maya which acts on us and keeps us under delusion because we want it. We are looking for that delusion, right? If the delusion is not there, we will not be able to indulge in material pleasure. Okay, so then you ask, okay, if material pleasure is not the real pleasure, then why does she allow us to? Because she doesn't want to force us, because we want it. Because we want it, she enables us to do that. So now the same Shakti is present as Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya is Sri Bhagavan's Shakti, which makes him serves him, which serves him. She's under him. She's super, subservient to him. She's not above him, but being subservient to him, she sets up the drama for him. She sets up the whole leela for him. So he plays in Vraja or whatever he does. He does not conduct himself like he is God. He plays like a small child. Okay, or when he comes as Rama, he goes around searching for his wife as if he doesn't know where she is. Right? So, in that consciousness, she creates that consciousness for him. So, he experiences that pleasure of separation from Mother Sita. So, all that is set up by Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya serves him in that manner. Mahamaya works on us, Yoga Maya works on him. You follow, but in different ways.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank
That's
you,
the
sir.
understanding. That's the understanding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, sir, over here, Subhadra is also. Which one of these is Subhadra? Mahamaya, Yogamaya? Is there any classification like that?
Good question. Well, Maya, you can just take it as Maya because it's the same personality. It's the same Shakti which manifests in different ways. So when she is
Mm-hmm.
there as Subhadra, she is his sister, right? She plays the role of his
Right.
sister.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hmm. Jayashree, you want to say something?
Yes, to answer that question which Sarthak asked about Subhadra, in the Vishnu Purana, it is given that Subhadra was born to Devaki and Vasudeva later, after Sri Krishna. So it's mentioned like that. And uh, the girl who Kansa wanted to kill, I mean, he uh, wants to kill and was swapped with Sri Krishna. She is Yoga Maya or Mahamaya, whatever. She is Bhagwan. In fact, Bhagwan tells all the devatas, devaganas, that she will come. She will be my sister, and Indra will take her. Indra will uh, take her to Vindhya mountains, and she will reside there permanently. So in the Vishnu Purana, it is given that that girl, when Kansa tried to kill her, she disappeared and she appeared as a eight form Ashtabhuja Rupa girl, and she told uh, Kansa that your killer is born elsewhere. So she just mentions that and she disappears, and she goes to the Vindhya mountains and she's there. That is the story according to the Vishnu Purana. I
And
don't
in the
think
Bhagavatam also, she will be coming. That will appear after a few more, shlokas ahead. Maybe in the next session or the next to next session. We will listen to that.
so. Subhadra is born to Devaki and Vasudeva.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So even as per as per Vishnu Puran, she is born to Devaki and Vasudeva, and as per Bhagavatam as well, sir, is the story same over here or?
In the Bhagavatam, her birth, I don't recollect reading about. Is it there, Jayashree, in the
No,
Bhagavatam?
no.
In
Bhagavatam doesn't talk
Bhagavatam,
about
her birth to Devaki Vasudeva is not there. Only the first 8 children,
Yes,
Mhm.
Krishna being the last.
yes.
Only up till there it's there.
Vishnu Purana lists out all the children and all the wives of Vasudeva, gives a complete picture. I mean, a complete picture in the sense all the names and that.
Details.
Yeah.
Vasudeva had 16 wives, is it true? In Vishnu Puran, how many wives are listed?
Number, I have to count the number. Lot of names are given.
Okay,
I
you
do
can
not
find
know.
out.
Yeah.
Next week you can tell us about that.
Yes.
So Rohini and Devaki are two of his wives. And there
Yes.
are other wives also. Because he's a prince. So he's eligible to marry multiple women.
Thank you for clarifying, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
So this just came up because it's the Rath Yatra is going on and Balaram, Subhadra,
Yes.
Sri
Yes.
Jagannath. So this
Yes.
description fits perfectly well with what we are witnessing in the recent times.
Yes. 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 You don't have to ask me only a question. You can also share your thoughts, your realizations, your experiences. Please feel free to share anything in this class.
Sir, this is Arunabha here, sir.
Yes, Arunabha.
Sir, actually, I have a doubt here, sir, and please help me clarify the doubt. So, sir, in one of the previous classes, there was a mention of the fact that uh, there was a king who was going on a palanquin, and he happened to sit beside a boy who didn't look very clever. But then, when he asked a question, the boy responded in a very, a very with much wisdom, and that's what the
Philosophical manner.
Bhagavat, yeah, and that's what the Bhagavatam is all about. And that's what I faintly recall. That's what the discussion was. Right now, when I'm connecting the what we read today, what we studied today with that incident, I'm not able to connect the dots, sir. I mean, if you can help us connect the dots, sir.
Well, that incident is not about the whole Bhagavatam. It is a narrative in the Bhagavatam, in the Panchama skandha of Bhagavatam, where Jada Bharata. Jada Bharata is the third birth of King Bharata. King Bharata is his first birth, in that narrative. Then he's born as a deer, and then he's born as Jada Bharata. So in the birth as Jada Bharata, he is actually already a Mukta Jiva. He is a Jivan Mukta. So he is wandering about. He doesn't have interest in normal material life. So he just wanders about the earth waiting for his body to die so that he can experience complete mukti. So in that state, he comes across this king who is going from one place to another place, being carried on a palanquin. And then there's a conversation between them. That conversation brings out some deep philosophical truths.
Sir, correct.
That's
So,
part
how are
of the
these two?
Bhagavatam.
Yeah, is a part of.
It's a part of the Bhagavatam. Various kinds of philosophical truths are given in Bhagavatam from beginning to end. So this conversation between that king Rahugana and Jadabharata, the king's name is Rahugana. So Rahugana and Jadabharata have this very philosophical conversation. It begins with Rahugana thinking that this Jadabharata is a useless guy because he behaves like that. He behaves as if he is just a loafer, just walking around without any aim, purposelessly walking around. But he's very strongly built. So they recruit him to carry the palanquin along with them. So when he is walking, he takes care not to step on some ants. There are some ants on the way, and he wants to, step in such a way the ants are not killed. So he steps very carefully, and in doing that, the palanquin gets disturbed. It's not in rhythm with the other palanquin bearers. So then the king becomes angry and he starts scolding this person, Jadabharata. And what Jadabharata does is he responds to that scolding in a very profound manner. And then this conversation begins. Rahugana suddenly realizes that this person I'm talking to is not an ordinary personality. He looks like a loafer, but he's not really one. So he gets down from the palanquin and then he inquires from him. He says, "Who are you? Please tell me uh, the answer to my questions." So he asks him some good questions and he gets very good answers. And eventually he worships him and then he goes away. It's not connected to this narrative. Now we are talking about Krishna's birth. Krishna is about to
Sir,
manifest himself on this earth. So we are getting ready for that.
sir. Also, one more doubt that I have is, and I mean, this can be a very theoretical question. So, in one of the sessions, you had discussed the fact that when Krishna gave up his body, the body was burnt, and that remaining piece it traversed the Arabian Sea and went into Bay of Bengal and then came into into Puri. That's where Puri Jagannath was born. If I remember correctly, so I'm not 100% sure if this was discussed here or somewhere else. But that's how the Lord Jagannatha temple was born. That's the place where that piece of the remains of Lord Krishna, right? Lord Krishna was there in Puri Jagannatha. Now, if that is true, then Parikshit, if I remember correctly, Yudhishthir just gave his handed over his kingdom to Parikshit, and I'm not 100% clear on that. That's what I remember correctly. Then where is the time for this entire traversing of that small piece of remnant of Lord Krishna to be manifested as Jagannatha and then coming here within the discussion of Parikshit and in this discourse, sir. So, is the question clear, sir?
Yeah, question is clear. So I want to clarify here that this story is not present in the Puranas, in the Mahapuranas, which we follow. Like, for example, Bhagavatam is one of the 18 Mahapuranas, Vishnu Purana is another Mahapurana. So it's not present in any of the Puranas, which we consider as the core of the Indian knowledge system, along with the Veda and the Mahabharata, Ramayana, etc. So we don't give much weightage to this story. There are many stories like this. There are so many stories floating
Okay.
around, which we hear sometimes here and there. Pandas sometimes tell these kind of stories, or somebody says somewhere, or some magazine carries a story like that. These are just for entertainment, people's entertainment. We don't know where these stories come from. So important to know here, Krishna says that Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma na eti mam eti so Arjuna. Because both my birth and my activities are divine. So along with that,
Are
we should
defined.
understood are divine. Divyam.
Divine. Okay.
Divyam. Divya means divine. Divine means it's not subject to the material laws that our body is subject to. Our body, the body that we have, is not divine. It's a material, gross material body. Right? It's made of the Pancha Mahabhutas. So our body is subject to these normal material laws. For example, after we die, when we leave this body, dying means what? We don't die. The body dies. That is, we leave the body decomposes, the body decays, and the body is burnt, right? Whereas Krishna's body is not like that. Parikshit also clarifies that, isn't it? In two shlokas we saw that. He says,
So,
Manusham, he says, Maya Manushya, means he appears like a human being, but he's not a human being. He doesn't have a body like us. Says that his body is not made of flesh, bones, blood like our body. It's a very special body. It may appear like that, it may behave like that, it may appear like that for our eyes. Because if it doesn't appear like that, then we can't relate with it. Right?
right, sir.
So for our convenience, for our benefit, he manifests himself like that. So with our eyes, with our senses, we can perceive him, we can interact with him, and so on. Right? But actually, his form may look like that, even in his eternal existence, in his swarupa, his form looks like that, but his body is not like our body. So he doesn't have a death like us. He just leaves this world. He just disappears. He doesn't give up his body like us, and that body is burned. That doesn't happen. He just vanishes from our sight. Okay, so both in Mahabharata, if you see in the end of Mahabharata, Krishna is leaving this universe is described. Krishna is leaving this earth is described towards the end of Mahabharata. Along with that, Balaram also he leaves. Both Balaram and Krishna leave in around the same time. And how they leave, you can see two different ways, but both of them just disappear from vision. They don't leave a body behind which is burnt or something. That
Oh,
doesn't
is it?
happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometime we will go into those details of that. But it's important to understand this that their body is not like our body. Yeah,
Sir. Thank
Sarthak.
you, sir.
Hmm. Sarthak.
Yes, sir. I had a question on the lines of Arunabha sir's question. Uh, what I have heard or read, I don't exactly recollect the source, but there are stories related to Neela Madhava and the mention of Daru Brahma in even the Rig Veda. So there are stories how there was one Vigraha, and then the king who wanted to actually find it out was then
Indradyumna.
said that okay,
Yeah, so
is there?
that is the avatar of Jagannath. If you see the narrative
Yes,
of how Jagannath appears on this earth, the king Indradyumna is the agent there.
yes,
He is used as an agent, and through him, because he desires to have that deity. He hears about the Nilamadava deity in what is today Puri, that place, and then he sends his priest, not priest, a Brahmana minister, and then a lot of things happen, and eventually Vishwakarma comes, and with that log of wood which comes from the sea, they carve the deity. Vishwakarma has this condition that I'll go on carving and I should not be interrupted. If I'm interrupted, then I will leave. I will not be there. So that's what happens. Eventually, Indradyumna is very eager to see the deity. So he is just waiting outside and he listens to that sound of the sculpting going on. Suddenly, the sound stops coming. So he becomes impatient and opens the door. He thinks that maybe Vishwakarma has forgotten to inform me and he's just finished the job. He goes and he says Vishwakarma is not there and the deities are in this form. Okay, so Sri Bhagavan wants to manifest himself in that form. So he takes that form as Jagannath, and along with him are Balabhadra and Subhadra. And the Sudarshan Chakra is also there. So
yes,
that's
sir.
his manifestation, yeah.
So is this story also present in Srimad Bhagavatam?
It is not in Bhagavatam. Appearance of Jagannath is not in Bhagavatam, but it's somewhere in the Shastra that we accept. I don't know exactly what the source of this particular this narrative is. We can find out.
Y- Yes, sir. Yes. So, sir, what I have heard is, sorry, I was a little late while joining it, but what I have heard is there are 24 manifestations of Sri Vishnu, which is talked about in Srimad Bhagavatam. Is that correct?
Yeah, many are there. In different places, the listing is given. In the Prathama Skandha itself, some 21 or 22 are given. And
Okay.
all of them are not described in Bhagavatam, but many others are described in Bhagavatam from the Prathama Skandha onwards, Dvitiya Skandha onwards, till
Okay, sir.
the
Okay.
Dwadasha Skandha.
Right, sir. So, just as Krishna Lila is described quite in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam, so are there any references to Sri Ram as well, or
Yes,
only? Okay.
in the Navama Skandha, Ramayana is presented very briefly.
Okay,
The
okay, sir.
Navama Skandha, part of it is devoted to Ramayana. Ramayana is narrated there.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Ashita, yes.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I have doubt in one thing, like I could not understand it properly. That we are living because of Paramatma inside and we are dying because of Paramatma outside. So I'm not able to get this.
Good. It's philosophical. So what it just meant was that, see, we actually, according to Bhagavad Gita, we don't have any death. We don't have a creation. We don't have a destruction. We are always living. We always exist. Okay, this is what Bhagavad Gita teaches us. So when we say we are living because of Paramatma, it's just that this body and our life energy, you see, in a given birth, for example, now each of us has a particular body. We are living in this body. We have a particular birth. So as we go through a particular lifetime, like we are going through one lifetime now, each one of us, as we go through the lifetime, we do various types of activities and we make decisions, our thoughts come. Uh, so many activities happen in our body, right? The different organs work in different ways, the blood flows, the air comes in and goes out, the organs work in different ways. So the Paramatma inside, present inside us, is the source of energy for everything. He is the source of all the energy. So he is the sustainer of life. Because of him, life sustains inside us in this particular body. And he is present in us. When we leave this body at the time of death and go to another body, he goes along with us. He never leaves us. He goes along with us. He's always present, and wherever we are, he sustains us in that form, whichever form we take. That is the meaning of saying that he is the sustainer of life. He sustains life. And of course, the process of changing from one body to another body is also a reality, right? So, in this existence that we have, the body that we have is not permanent. It is विकारात्मक means उसका विकार होता रहता है. It continuously transforms. So the transformations are brought about by the force of time. So if time did not exist, then everything would remain frozen, right? It's as time moves forward, the vikaras keep happening. So we are not beyond time. Time is the energy which causes these things to transform. So that is why we say that he comes as time, and through that energy of time, he brings about our death. He takes us every moment of time that passes, we are one moment closer to death. It's logically correct, isn't it? It makes logical sense, no? We are both living and dying at the same time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. For the benefit of others, Ashita has just joined our FPM program, our doctoral program. He's welcome in our group. And she's interested in IKS. She'll be doing her doctoral study in the field of IKS, Indian Knowledge Systems. For Ashita's information, most of the people who are part of this group are students, XLRI students, either current students or past students. And many of them are doing FPM or EFPM, either FPM or EFPM. Many of them are in the doctoral program. A few others are in the other programs like BM or HRM. But more students from the doctoral program than from the other programs.
Good evening, everyone. Really nice to meet you all.
Yes. Any other questions from anyone? Good. So we can stop here today if there are no further questions, and we will continue from the next class. Please ensure that you don't miss the next class too. The story will continue from there, and as we build up, we will go into Vraja. Okay, I'm eagerly waiting for that. We are still now, we are outside, we're actually now in the first story, we are not even on the earth. So we are going to come back now to the earth, and then we are going to go into Mathura first, and then from Mathura, we will go into Vraja, and the sweet Leelas of Krishna in Vraja will unfold. So please remain glued to this episode after episode. We will go about exploring and hearing these sweet stories. Thank you very much. And I will now chant the Antya Mangalam. Please chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with me as I chant the Antya Mangalam. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobhramanebhyo Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. धन्यवादाः पुनर्मिलामः.